morning, welcome back to a new video. In this video we're going to talk about our hybrid rocket stove and our central heating stove and why we're switching from this to this. So this is going to be mostly a talking video. We're not going to be setting it up yet. It's going to be in the next video. But we're going to explain you why we're switching and what's the benefits of this and what's the benefits of this. We started with just this basic little small wood stove, and it wasn't the best. It was barely able to heat up this room. I don't think it was able to heat it up more than 12 degrees. So it was really cold. Of course, we started with nothing. It was freezing cold, the walls. So it takes a long time to heat up the house. But then we figured out, let's turn it into rocket hybrid, and that worked really well and was straight away able to heat up because you add this giant heat exchanger and not letting all the heat escape. So that worked first time. We have all the videos of every single step so you can check them all out, but that was the first step. And then last year we actually decided to fully rebuild it into a better version that I looked up online. We added a full stack of bricks on the other side and made it perfectly exit the way rocket stove should be. It was working amazingly, but we did not have this. We had it just from the door and using the air intake that the stove provided, and that did not work. So we sealed all of that up, freshly sealed that closed, and added this one here. And then it started working really well, and as you can see, it's having amazing draft. You can watch the fire, it's perfect. We have put loads of bricks around it, so the heat loss from here hopefully is not enough to cause it not to burn second burn. It's working really well. It's burning quite efficient. I think I'm using 2 buckets of wood a day for it, and it's heating up the house pretty nicely. But the problem of this stove is that it doesn't get everywhere, and my plan was to add central heating to it. Which is building in some pipes, some stainless steel pipes inside, looping them through, and hopefully harvesting that into hot water and distributing it through the radiators. But I'm scared that that's gonna cool the flame down way too much, and it's probably not gonna work as efficient anymore. Could put it in the barrel, but then you're cooling down the smoke way too much. I'm just scared it's not made for that, and it might not have enough power to heat up all the radiators. In summer we found the deal, start of summer I think it was, so end of the heating season, and someone wanted to upgrade, so I think a downgrade actually, because this was too powerful for them. So we found this for 200 euros, so it was an amazing deal for us because this is brand new, 2,500, so these are not cheap. It does come with all the siding and now it's beautiful and has a top thing, but we removed it because we bent first of all one of the sidings, and at the moment we're not putting radiators in the kitchen living room. We do want it to give off heat. If we're putting it like in a garage, you want the heat to be all enclosed and not letting it out at all. You want the heat just to go to the hot water and go into your house. But in our case, we can let the heat go out into the room because it will provide heat for these 2 rooms, so you don't need a radiator here. And then in the future, it's gonna go in our storage room once it's ready. We do need a new chimney for it, and we do need to set it all up, the floor to be reinforced for it. So it's a lot of work to get it in there, and this season we're not making it because the cold minuses are starting up this week. So we're getting up down to the temperatures where below 0, starting to snow. You need to heat it up twice a day, which sounds normal for a stove, but it just doesn't provide enough heat to our bedroom. It just does not travel around, and don't even think about bathroom, that is just too far. In the bathroom we need electric heater, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a stove if you're using electricity to heat up the house then. So this one is going to distribute the heat much more evenly, it's going to provide everywhere, and also in the future we are going to have hot water from this, so we're going to be able to shower all winter pretty much for free without using electricity, because currently we're using electricity and it is big usage for heating up the water. Since the days are short, we don't get much sunlight, the solars are just not able to keep up at all. So yeah, this will be a huge saver in that. In summer we have solar, so we're pretty much showering for free and using electricity for free, but in winter we need this. The next thing is where we're gonna put it, because you know, as you can see, we still have this stove, we still need to use it, otherwise we're gonna freeze. It's gonna get really low temperatures, and yeah, we can't move this very easily. It is probably heavier than this thing, and this thing is close to, I think, 250 kilos, something like that this thing is, or 200. It's pretty heavy, and this was 150 kilos or 130 on its own, and then it has a brick stack in the back, has the barrel, so it adds up to be more weight than this probably. And not really easy just to dismantle and move away. But this one, I realized once the water gets filled up, because it's quite a large water storage, it's actually gonna get ridiculously heavy, and we do have to put a bottom on here just so it doesn't sit on the ground. The burning chamber is actually starting up here, I think, so this bottom does not get hot at all. That's just where the ash gets stored, so you wouldn't have to worry about it damaging the floors. But the weight of it, needs to be distributed a bit better. And also this door just doesn't open properly. It's sitting way too much on the floor. It needs to sit on something higher. So we need to see what we're gonna lift it up on. Some maybe bricks might work, heat-proof bricks. just needs to be a good surface area so it distributes the weight much better. It cannot be on pointy legs like this. Even though this does not sink that much, but yeah, this one I think with full water, I don't know how many liters goes in there, quite a lot. It's gonna get pretty heavy. So, and then you add wood and ash, and yeah, you're looking at quite the weight. But I think we're just gonna set it up as close as possible to this one, and then the chimney pretty much aligns so you can go directly up and in. So we do not have to move this for now, and then we could slowly move it away to the barn where it's actually gonna go. Actually, after this will be our workshop heater, so it will be heating up the workshop. It's giving off insane heat right now, so it's working really well, and we're just burning some small sticks. We're not using our properly harvested wood from this year, which is, you know, nice chunks. Now we're just using sticks from the year before, so we are doing pretty good on the heat. I hope this will be just as efficient. I hope this does not eat through wood. I'm not sure if I could add a barrel on top as a heat exchanger on this one, but I think that would be just pretty extreme as well. And maybe then the smoke gets way too cold for the chimney, and you'll start to get problems in the chimney. Currently, the chimney was pretty much clean. There was no problem. We're not developing any problems. It's still exiting pretty hot without the insulated chimney. This one here, we will put insulated chimney once it goes in there. This has been a lot of talking, I know, but we need to just address all these things because this thing is gonna replace this one, and it is sad. I really like it a lot looking at the flame. I love how it burns with its like passion and noises, but it just doesn't distribute it, and I'm scared of installing anything in there. It might cool down the stove way too much, and it might not burn anywhere near as efficient. You'll need way more wood than something that is actually built for central heating. So yeah,
hopefully in the future we can have a stove there.
Yeah, no, we're gonna put the stove back here, a different one maybe. Gonna buy another one with the glass.
Just for beauty.
Just for beauty, and maybe just to keep hot water on top of it.
Yeah, we're gonna buy one with the top.
Extra cold days when it goes to -35, which can happen easily. Latvia, I think, sometimes has happened -45 even. So ridiculously cold temperatures can happen. So you do need all the heat you can get. So it would be good just an extra little stove for cuteness. And this guy will go hidden. So I think this guy will be more than enough, but if we start the upstairs and start adding the upstairs floor, probably we'll need to improve to a bigger one, and maybe an automatic wood chip one would be the best, because wood chips are just much easier. They grow pretty much in 1-2 years. You can grow a full ditch of wood chips. And to answer some of the questions you guys had regarding the pipes, first of all, the pipes are heat proof, so those are specifically for hot water. And then the insulation of the pipes is not necessary. They do work as radiators, as I said. For the storage room, it will be enough heat for the storage room, and they definitely do not cool down on the way. Insulation will be added on the basement, not to heat basement up, and also not to lose the heat, because it will go down into much colder temperatures. Once the basement is sealed, it stays around 5 degrees, so it's same as a fridge temperature. So you do not want your heated pipes just to cool down there. They do go for a really short time, just in and out. But still, that's enough just to give the heat off into the basement, heat it up, and also lose quite a lot of heat. So we don't need that. We're going to insulate them in the basement, but in the storage room they will not be insulated, because we do want some heat there. Another thing that people said, they're going to freeze if we don't insulate them, but if you're using the stove, first of all, you're heating the pipe, so it's impossible to freeze in that sense. In our house, to get to freezing temperatures in the house, we probably have to leave it for a full year and let it cool down the walls fully, and then you're gonna get freezing temperatures in here for anything to freeze. Otherwise, these walls, they're 50 centimeters thick, so they are not cooling down. You cannot get freezing temperatures from few days. It takes really long time for the house to cool down to freezing temperatures in here. So we're definitely not gonna experience any pipes bursting, and we're living in here. It's not abandoned, so yeah, it's gonna be all fine. And if we are leaving for quite a while, we can always leak out. And also we're adding a liquid that prevents freezing, so that's also, it's kind of like an antifreeze that also carries the heat a lot better. So it's a very expensive liquid. You just add it into the water, you mix it, and that prevents all those things. So that's a good one. And another thing is that this stove might actually be more powerful than we need for the radiator amount we're putting on. I think this thing is built for quite a lot more than we are adding on it. It could power both up and down stories with many radiators, but we'll see how much heat it actually produces, because the guy we bought it from, the biggest problem he had, it was too powerful for his apartment. It was 75 square meters, so pretty smaller than our house, and he was struggling to get this guy even building up heat, because it was just automatically closing itself, because it was just water was getting too hot, the radiators were hot, the house was to the heat you wanted, so the stove was just shutting itself off pretty much and cooling itself down, just because it was getting way too hot. So yeah, and the other thing was the circulation. For circulation, we actually have a circulating pump, so that's going to be circulating. It doesn't use much power, so it's not really a problem. As my uncle has in their house an old system with really big pipes and a big tancom upstairs, they have it on gravity fed. So it means that it rises up the hot water and distributes through out the radiators. Works amazing, doesn't need any electricity. Very good system, and in UK it's still used heavily. As far as I've noticed, all the new systems are set up exactly like that. Open tanks, and they're just very safe because they do not ever build up pressure anywhere. They can just release through that tank. That's safe, but we're gonna have this safety valve and we're gonna be perfectly fine. We cannot do it on those tanks because you need big pipes. You need a tank upstairs. It's just a lot more expensive. We're doing this really budget. We don't have a lot of money to spend on it. As you see, we bought the stove secondhand, radiator secondhand. Just the pipes and fittings is already really expensive. All these expensive parts, they add up for us at least. For a new system, you're looking at really high amounts. So we are saving quite a lot of money. We are upcycling again, something that someone didn't want. Instead of going to the scrapyard and getting fully melted down, we are using. So in that sense, we are providing also for the radiators the same thing. Instead of ending up in the scrapyard, they're still usable. Some of the radiators we bought were only 1 year use. Some of them had a bit of rust on them, but it's perfectly fine. We're gonna paint them up and they're gonna last us long. I am burning up here next to the stove. It's unbearably hot. And yeah, we're gonna start working on setting this thing up. So we are burning it probably for the last time. We're gonna, after it's burnt out, cool down, we're gonna put it flush against it, connect the chimney to this stove. And hopefully by end of tonight, we are actually gonna fire this thing up. Maybe tomorrow morning, we will actually see. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and we're gonna see you next time. We're gonna get on with the radiators in those rooms. So yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, let's get started. That's a lot of work.